Hello and welcome to another episode of Swords and Sapphics. I'm Rachel.
I'm Ivy. Yes.
And this is a podcast all about stabby sapphic women and women in general. Ivy, what have you been reading this week?
I've been reading.
I know, I'm so proud.
I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I opened a book. This is a big thing for the last few months. Now I didn't read at all. Only few comic books. And now I'm back. And I already bought 2 books. I'm gonna tell you all that I read because I'm very excited about every single book that I read in the past week.
Tell us everything.
So first I read Always See You by Samantha Young, which I got for my birthday from the love of my life here. It was very good. Then I read some review copy I got with some romance novel from Al Kennedy. And yesterday I finished A Fine Friend by Lauren Asher. And you guys, the angst, it's all about the angst. And I go for
Tell us the plot, because I actually don't know anything about it other than what you told me about the angst, and that was enough. But tell
The
us
Fine
more.
Friend?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so basically he is this billionaire, and actually, the stereotypical I don't feel shit, I hate everyone. He owns something like a Disneyland, but it's called like Dreamland.
Mm-hmm.
He's the director now, and she basically insults him in the first meeting because she didn't know it was him. And then when she found out, she just laughed, which was adorable. And naturally that was because she's not like the other girls, so he was into that. And then when she was drunk, she sent in her submission for the creators team, where they create all the fun rides and everything. So they worked together. And she was this sunshine. She was pure sunshine, as he described her, and he was just gone. And it was amazing.
Sunshine and Grump. I love that trope.
Yes. And she got hurt, you guys. She was sick. And he took care
We are a big fan of Hurt and Comfort in this house. The only thing that kept me reading The Hating Game by Sally, what's her name?
Was it H something?
Sally Thorne.
There was
the only thing that kept yeah. the only thing that kept me going through that was when she got sick and he took care of her. I don't know why. I'm just a big sucker for that stuff. I've not been reading much, but I've tried. So I've been reading The Witchery Still by S. Isabel, which I'm enjoying, but it's a lot of vibes, and I can't imagine a teenager being able to keep up with it because I'm having trouble. It feels like we've just been chucked in the middle of the plot and without much explanation, but it's good. It has queer characters and characters of colour. But in between that, I just started The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, and it's, there's a lot of underlying queerness there, and I love that, and I'm looking forward to finishing it so I can watch the adaptations.
Well, now that means that I'm forced to listen to the audiobook by Ben Barnes. Thank you for forcing me to do that. Okay,
you're welcome. That's what
you're listening to some audiobooks too, don't you?
I'm listening to Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandra Belfleur. So for those who don't know, this is the 3rd book in the collection. I'm not sure what the collection's called, but it started with Written in the Stars, and then there was Hang with the Moon, and it's very queer, very sapphic. All the characters in it are sapphic. And the 3rd book is And They Were Roommates type book.
And Old Flames, it's the second chance roommates type of thing.
Yeah, second chance. They were exes. But it's also pretty steamy as well. So if you're looking for a bit more steam with your sapphic-ness, I would definitely recommend Alexandria Belfleur.
Yes. Yes, just yes.
What are we watching?
I've been watching a lot of things. I
Mhm.
currently am watching Irma Web, which is on HBO, and it's Suffolk, sort of like Alicia Vikander plays the main character. She's an actress, and she's going to France to shoot this reboot of a silent film, and she has ex-girlfriend, and she's working through some of her feelings, and it's strangely good. It's not something I would go for unless I knew it was Suffolk.
Mhm.
But I'm enjoying it. What about you?
I don't think we can get that here yet because it's a HBO
Mm.
exclusive. What am I watching? I've been watching a bit of Santa Clarita Diet, and by a bit I mean one episode, which is always
Counts.
great. Yeah, it's got the traditional sitcom couple, only this time there are zombies and dismembered body parts. And it's just really funny and absurd. What else have I been watching? Rewatching a lot of Stranger Things because that's all that matters to me right now. I watched an episode of The X-Files too. I'm a big X-Files lover. When the mood strikes, Dana Scully for life. So that's where we're at there.
What was the last movie you watched, and how did
The
you
last
enjoy
one.
it?
Did we watch it something together?
Uh-huh.
I've forgotten. Let me think.
Yeah.
Yes, you. Ivy made me watch How to Train Your Dragon 2 about a year after we watched the first one together. And the whole time I was like, I'm going to do it for Gerard Butler. I'm a big fan of the Scottish. I'm a big fan of the Scottish brogue, and that's why I went into this, because I needed to hear my man's voice. He's got a very beautiful, wonderful voice, and I love his character. But spoiler alert, he died. And she didn't warn me, of course, because she doesn't believe in spoilers. So I was hit by this very tragic time in life. Just after he finds the love of his life is actually alive also. So actually, perhaps you're the reason for my depressive episode this week.
Yeah, that might be.
I've not been feeling well, and I'm thinking now
It started off
there might be
with
a correlation. Yeah.
For the last year, every single time I could, I tried to force her to watch it, because this trilogy is one of my all-time favorites. And every time she said, "Oh yeah, for Jared Butler, I shall. Oh yeah, I miss him. Maybe we should." And the amount of not to let anything out to tell her that he's not gonna make it. I did tell her, which he did, that he would deliver the greatest line ever, which is, "You're as beautiful as the day I've lost you." I mean,
you're as beautiful now as the day I lost you.
yes.
Anyway, good luck getting me to watch anything past that. Unless Kit Harington is also in the third one.
He is.
Okay. So maybe one day, but he'll probably die. So that's going to take a while.
No one else dies. You're still gonna cry, though.
I personally think people should not die in children's movies. I'm going into a children's movie because I need the comfort and the reassurance, not because I want my favorite man to die.
Yeah. I'm laughing now because I processed all my feelings, but now it's just funny.
Yeah. How about music? Oh, what movie did you last watch? Was it also How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah. I was trying to start a few movies. Oh no, wait. We watched another movie after it. We watched Jojo Rabbit after it.
Oh yeah.
I forgot that was another pain.
Yeah, I'm not trusting Ivy much these days. Jojo Rabbit was an adventure, first of all, it was just vibes. Taika Waititi, is that how you say it?
I think
say
so,
his name. Just walking around pretending to be Hitler. And then, of course, things didn't end quite as well.
Again, I ask you, do you want to be happy and do you want to cry all at once? You said yes, so I went for it.
I was not happy.
You did at the beginning. You must have been. It was funny. And then it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah. And then it wasn't. And then it very quickly wasn't.
It was just one of the way it's done. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
It was very artistic, I must say. If you haven't watched it yet, I would recommend. It's one of those films that will be studied in like media classes and things like that.
Did I watch something else in that? Oh yeah, I watched another movie TV show, about Elementary. That's a sitcom.
Yes.
And it's really good. I was waiting for it to have some streaming service, and finally I got Disney Plus in check, and I binge watched it, and it's such a feel good, very adorable. It makes me giggle. It makes me laugh. It's such a great sitcom. It's really good, and I have a beautiful couple to ship, and I'm very happy.
That's the best sitcom, when there's a good couple in the center of it all.
Mm-hmm. And it's also so it's so gently done. Like, he's into her, but it was never suggested other than his like looks here and there, and they're very subtle. And it's just so very good.
I love that. I think I need to watch that as well. I need a feel good sitcom at the minute, especially after the horrors I've been through with your recommendations this week. But if you guys are watching anything, please let us know. We want to know what you're watching and reading and listening to also.
And for us, what to watch and read and listen.
Yeah, give us some recommendations. We love talking about random shit.
Which we do.
Today we are talking about the women who shaped us. So we thought we wanted to talk about characters that we've just fell in love with growing up, like the first characters who really influenced who we are, especially in regards to like strong women. So you start, Ivy. Who's the first woman you remember shaping you?
I just have like, it's not the first or second, but to me it's like this. I just remember after I went from elementary school, I ran home to watch either Buffy or Charmed or some telenovelas. And it does explain a lot about who I am now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they basically raised me, and no regrets.
Buffy is a beautiful show because you can just watch it as a one-off, but then when you start watching it as a series, you're like, oh my god, this cuts really deep. Like the way that Buffy is forced to be this hero when she just wants to be a normal teenager, that, and all the things that happen afterwards, that always cuts really deep. And I didn't realize it was going to be that painful until I sat down and watched it properly, which was only recently.
It's funny to watch or to see in yourself how you watched it when you were young, and how you're sort of consuming the show now, and all the different feelings about it, and that exactly the hidden meaning. Or when I was young, I didn't like understand why she would want to have a normal life and why she fought it so much. But now, not naturally as an adult, it's very different. And you're right, it cuts deep. Yeah.
Let's talk about who your bias is, Angel or Spike. Let's have a fight.
Let's do this. We've been fighting about this since we first mentioned Buffy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I am Team Angel all the way, forever and ever.
Yeah. And of course, I am Team Spike, because who am I to resist a bad boy villain who works very hard to get his soul for Buffy, actually. And at the end, I think you'll find he's really the only one who stands with her when everyone else kind of turns away. And I love that.
I don't remember the ending much because I'm still on season 2 during my rewatch. I stopped when Buffy and Angel got together, and it ended with him losing his soul, and I'm not ready for that yet. Because I still, in my brain, for the past like 15 years, I have the scene where she puts the sword through him, and that song I listen, the soundtrack during that scene I listen to when I'm sad, just to cry better. But it's just I when it comes to the bad boys, and I have the same thing with Damon, I like them as the bad boys, and I like them just to go and kill people. And if they want to get a girl, just corrupt her. Don't be good for her. Make her be bad for you.
In a way, Damon kind of does that with Elena, though, because you see that like loving him goes against all of her morals, and she does not change, but like reveals more of herself with Damon. Look, my issue is that the good boys always are just soggy pieces of bread. They have the personality of stale, soggy bread. And it does not surprise me that a Stefan lover also is an Angel lover.
No.
That's really boring for you, but
no. If Spike would be with Drusilla and just torture the entire world for the rest of eternity, I would like that much better.
But Spike was always very open about the fact that he's made to be someone's bitch. He's like, love has made me a bitch. And he started off with Drusilla and he became Buffy's bitch. And I respect that for him.
Yeah,
he's evil. He's a villain, but he also needs a strong woman to lead him. And I think that's very hot.
Sure.
You'll see when you rewatch. Things will become clear.
Sure. I'm just ready to I'm not ready to move on just yet.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. Have you watched
I'll allow it for now. I haven't watched it yet. I keep meaning to, and I know I love it because I love anything witchy and womanly. Witchy women.
I remember because they have this like Book of Shadows, which is like the spell book, and I remember as a young kid I was trying to recreate it or buy some replica of it, and I even started sort of like this witch coven with my friends from elementary school, and every other week or so we went to we had Paneria across the school, and we went there to like talk about our coven while eating panini. It was
I
great.
want to be in the coven. Oh my god, let me in. It's time to rebirth it and let me in.
You know, I even think I have like still the papers and everything I've done for it somewhere hidden, because I didn't want to throw it out because of all the nostalgia. So I think I could probably still find it.
Oh my god, I want to be part of this.
Yes.
Please let me in. And also I was a huge whore for Rose McGowan. She's in Charmed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because the first thing I ever saw her in was Scream, and I was definitely too young to be watching Scream. But oh my god, no wonder I'm pansexual. I had Rose McGowan and Neve Campbell in one film. Like, and those were probably some of the women. Well, Tatum dies quite quickly, who's Rose's character, but Sydney Prescott, Queen of My Heart, the first final girl for me in a slasher movie. She was probably I know that you don't like watching scary films because you live alone, so I guess I'm just gonna have to come there and force you myself.
Yes. That's what I keep telling you. If you want me to watch all your like horror stuff or scary stuff, come here, live with me, protect me from all the demons that I see in my head. Sure, we can.
Okay, it's a plan. I'm moving to Prague. And it's all for you, Neve Campbell.
That took a turn, but sure, I'll take it.
You need to know the beauty of Sydney Prescott and the power of Scream. I love Scream. And also it's a really funny slasher movie. There is some serious humor in it. And Matthew Lillard is such a like wonderful and versatile actor. I love him in Scream so much. Because when I first watched it, I knew him as Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
And I was just like, oh my God, he can act. Like he can play a normal role. Well, not a normal role, a villain role, but also a really unaware villain role where he's like the himbo. He's a himbo to the leader, who's the killer. And it's just, I love it so much. And Timothy Olyphant is in the second film, in the second Scream, and I love him too. So yeah, I'm gonna force you to watch it. And
Sure.
Courtney Cox. We
Oh,
must
yeah.
mention Courtney Cox. She's in Scream too.
Didn't she have like that very small fringe there?
That's the third one. So
Yeah.
we get 2 solid films of wonderful hair before we must be subjected to the short fringe.
I saw that such a sad picture because I think like new one came out like last year, didn't I?
Yeah.
And there was that picture that haunts my dreams. Yes.
she pulls it off a bit when you get into the film and stop noticing. Yeah, my first woman crush was Rose Tyler from Doctor Who. Anyone who knows me will know this. Like, I remember sweating every time I watched Doctor Who because I was so in love with her. And my mum got me the biography of her and everything, and I would just sweat when I talked about her. And nobody told me I was gay. Nobody told me this was very gay behavior. To like, this was not just a little like girl crush. This was a full blown, oh my God, I'm in love with you, mom. But I think my favorite thing about Rose is that she's strong because she's compassionate, and I loved that about her. Like, she's often the Doctor's like moral compass when he loses his, because he's been around a long time and he can get a bit cold and detached, but she's kind of the voice of reason and the moral compass for him, and it's just really beautiful, and the chemistry they have is wonderful. You haven't watched it, have you?
No.
And that makes me sad.
I know. I just somehow now my TikTok is filled with like some of the scenes from Doctor Who, and I mostly have the Vincent Van Gogh when he's like listening to other people talk about him, and that I watch it every time I see it because it makes me cry every time I see it. And now I'm starting to have God, what's her name? She plays Nebula in Marvel.
Karen Gillan.
Yeah,
she plays Amy Pond in Doctor Who.
Yeah, and now I have her there a lot. And the scene I can think of was when she was on her wedding, and
yes,
the phone booth popped up and she ran to it.
Yeah. I have some problems with Amy Pond, but I won't get into it because I know you'll understand nothing.
Feel free to get into it. I will not. And
no, we're being positive about women today.
Okay.
But yeah, Rose was my first companion, and 9 was my first Doctor, and for that I just love them. They have a special place in my heart. Even now when I watch it, I just feel exactly the same as I used to. Billie Piper is everything to me. She's everything.
I love that. I love her very much.
It's definitely a comfort to know that some loves will never leave you. Like, I love watching a film that I haven't watched for ages and still finding like the things that I used to just adore about it and feeling like a kid again.
Yeah, it's weird how, to me, it just transfers me to the time where I just sit on the couch, and for once me and my brother didn't fight, and we just watched that thing, which for me was, for example, The Swan Princess, which I still have to force you to watch, and I rewatched it recently, and I'm shocked how not that like bad towards women it is. She's not like that signed out as princess, but it's just pure perfection. And I miss feeling like a kid a lot.
Yeah, me too. I think mine would be like the animated version of Peter Pan. Like even just the music gets me all sparkly inside. It just makes me really happy. Yeah. I love old films.
Yeah. Or Princess Mononoke. I love them.
Yeah. Those films are too long for my poor little brain. And
I understand.
I lost the will to live halfway through. I tried Spirited Away as well. But I was also watching it in dubbed. No, I wasn't. I was watching it with subtitles, and I probably should have tried it dubbed because it's a lot to focus on subtitles and what's going on in the film.
There, specifically in this one, there was a lot of plot going on, like 3 plot lines or so. So there was a lot going on. And I'm thinking that maybe I shouldn't have been watching it as like a child under age of 10. That same goes to Buffy and Charmed, really. Yes.
Well, you were watching Princess I can't say it.
Mononoke.
Mononoke. And I was watching Scream, so I feel that.
And that's who we are now. It really does.
Yeah. And it did not corrupt us or turn us into serial killers, but it did turn us very pansexual and bisexual.
Yeah. And also now I don't mind like gory stuff that are just disgusting. I do mind scary.
But Scream is not scary. Like, I don't find serial killers scary because I would quite welcome a knife to the gut, you know?
No,
it's like I lock my doors at night and I don't answer my phone when people call, so he would have a hard time reaching me, I feel. And if it was Skeet Ulrich, then I would simply let him in anyway.
Well, or maybe I should visit you in your apartment in Paris, ruin all your stuff, drink your champagne, and then stab you.
I'm so fine with that. As long as we get matching scars, I'll stab you back.
So from Paris, we're gonna go straight to Rome. And we have to get you again. Okay.
Do a little shootout. I'll axe someone in the shoulder. By the way, these are all Killing Eve references.
So spoiler alert.
Yeah. And then we'll stand on the bridge, you know, like in season 3. Yes. And I'll walk away and then run back to you because that's how the show ended. It didn't end.
Precisely. We can go on a boat. We can kill a bunch of people. And we can go to our happily ever after.
I like that idea, yeah.
Same.
So we asked people on Twitter and Instagram who influenced them growing up, and Haley says Jo March from Little Women. Did you ever watch or read it?
When the new one came out, I tried to read it, but I couldn't get through it. It wasn't my cup of tea, and I still haven't watched it.
I didn't enjoy the book. I'm always a bit iffy with classics anyway. Like, I think most people are when we're not pretending to be very educated and intellectual. Like, classics are not always what we're in the mood for, but I do remember like bits and pieces, and I know Jo is the one that really transgresses, like compared to her sister. She's not as girly or feminine, and I'm pretty sure it's Saoirse Ronan's character. So when she says women,
yes, that's a reaction I use all the time.
Yeah, she's so right. Yeah. I can't say their username, but hang on. Oh, Shirin says Lara Croft, and I love that. I think Lara Croft was one of the first games that I ever played on my PlayStation, my very old PlayStation when I was a kid. I had the one where you walk around the mansion and the butler follows you farting and like going and shaking the tray of drinks and stuff, and you had to find a key. But I have you not? I think you'd like it, you know.
I don't think I even watched the entire film. I think I saw like bits and pieces when my mom was watching it, because usually this was after 10 o'clock in the evening and I was usually by bed at that point. But now, because I'm watching Alicia Vikander in that show, I really want to watch her version too.
Mm.
But I just like Angelina Jolie in anything when I was growing up. Like, yes.
It's interesting to see the development of Lara Croft, because she was highly sexualized in the first versions of the game. Like, she had very pointy boobs and like a very perky bum, and that never really changed. Like, they still hire pretty like curvy actresses, and I think I studied that in media studies actually.
Nice.
Marion from Robin Hood, Maid Marion. That's from Sarah, and someone else gave me that answer as well. I think it was.
There were so many versions, but I just see this one actress in specific, especially, and she also played in Quantico, the bad guy, and it kind of ruined that for me. But I did love her, yeah. I just can't remember which version it was. I don't remember the man.
I don't think I've ever sat through a Robin Hood adaptation ever. I don't know why, it's just never really appealed to me. But maybe for Marion, if people are saying Marion, we should.
Yep.
And of course, this is one of my favorites that we got from the same person from Sarah, Evelyn O'Connell from The Mummy.
Oh yes.
Rachel Weisz. That she was definitely another one for me as well. When she's drunk and she goes, "I am a librarian." It's just my favorite thing.
I don't remember much of the movies. Again, I don't remember. I know I've seen them. I don't remember the plot. I remember nothing. I remember her.
Yeah, as you should. But also
That's
Brendan Fraser. Yeah.
Yes.
We must rewatch that. That was it. Honestly, bring adventure romance back. It's just my favorite. I'm excited for the Sandra Bullock one, The Lost City.
Oh yes,
I'm excited to watch that.
I was like, everybody was watching Indiana Jones and the Mummy, and I loved more. Was it his Flynn something? And he was a librarian, and my God, I have to Google it. Hold up, because Stana Katic was playing a vampire there in the second one. And during this time, I was also watching Castle, where she plays detective. And honestly, I was raised bisexual from what I understand now.
Yeah. It was also like, because obviously you make the change from like Disney movies where women are pretty much damsel in distresses, or they need a prince to save the day, and then you get to these like bigger Hollywood films, and finally you see women like break the boundaries. And I think that's when you start really like feeling things for what you watch, because these characters are fleshed out and real, and the strong women, and in so many diverse ways as well.
Yeah.
And I love that.
It was called Flynn Carson. And the series was called The Librarian. And I know there was like a follow-up TV show, The Librarians, which wasn't as good, but Stana Katic is a vampire. What else do you want me to say? That's all, really.
Exactly.
That you need.
Stephanie also said it was Maid Marian. She dressed up as a guy to run secretive and dangerous errands for Queen Eleanor, and she beat Robin in a sword fight. I wonder which adaptation that is. Amelia Peabody. I don't know who that is. Do you?
No.
Oh, mystery novels and a non-fiction companion volume. Oh, Egyptology.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I bet that was good to read as a child. I bet that was good fun. And Carmilla. I don't know who that is either. Oh, the cult that inspires Dracula. I definitely need to look into these things.
Nice.
A gothic novella. We love anything gothic, so we must have like an episode on the gothic.
Yeah. And vampires in general.
Yeah. Let's see who else replied. Ivka. Emma Swan from Once Upon a Time.
My God, yes.
Yeah. I think I was more Regina.
Same.
Emma, the chosen one kind of gets boring for me. Like she never really, at the beginning, she didn't do much to actually prove herself. She was just kind of the chosen one because of who her parents were. And I love a villain.
I just loved her being mean and manipulating everyone and just being in control, which kind of reminds me, like, basically it's a woman who manipulates and create a whole reality in one town, which is basically WandaVision.
That's true. We have the type.
Yes, obviously.
Yeah. I loved that. Was like such a good time in life for me because like what more could you want when you're a teenager and you've had to abandon your Disney films because you're growing up, and then this show comes out for adults and young adults full of characters that we know and love.
Red Riding Hood, is it how you say it in English?
Yes.
Ruby,
yes.
my god, my villain origin story is that she didn't have more screen time because my god,
I really loved the storyline with Mulan and Sleeping Beauty, and I was really sad that they didn't end up together. It was very sapphic. Mulan was in love with Sleeping Beauty, like she was kind of her protector and stuff. There was so many good characters in that, and I think that's another reason why Emma wasn't my favorite, because I wanted more of those characters, and we kind of mostly just got Emma.
Yeah,
the Frozen episodes were amazing as well.
The way they prepared the season finale where Elsa came and everything just went ice, that was the scene that I kept watching until I got the new season. But it was so perfect as an introduction, and now I miss it very much.
I miss my man Killian, Mr. Hawk. Captain Hook, can't remember his name. But I hated how soft he turned. That was one instance where I know what you mean. He turned too soft for Emma. I wanted him to still be bad, and he wasn't. He seemed to just lose his personality when he fell in love, and that's not how to write a bad boy. Let him be a simp, but let him also not be a soggy piece of bread.
Yeah. I also didn't really enjoy the fact that they turned Regina to the good queen. Like, I was proud for her because that's what she wanted, but also just I want bad women to stay bad.
Yeah. How did we feel about the last few seasons? Because they teetered off for me a bit.
I remember nothing. I don't want to remember anything, and that's really it.
We did have Robin and Alice. So we had Robin Hood's daughter and Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
But there was a spin-off series of Alice in Wonderland, and that's why I think I didn't enjoy it that much, even though I believe she was Suffolk, wasn't she?
Yes, yeah, they were together.
But there was a beautiful spin-off that I enjoyed much more than even the original series, and it was Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. Yeah.
I know that it's on Disney Plus now, so I might have to give it a go. I also really loved what was her name? I think she was Regina's sister. She was the green witch from Wicked.
Yes, I know. Zelina.
Yes. Yeah, I really loved her as well.
Again, the same issue. They turned her so good, and she lose that sort of like she just lost that what made her so special and so good.
Yeah.
And she played her, like, the actress played the villain so well. It was so good. Yeah.
They wanted all the characters to become saviors, but but some anti-heroes can still serve the plot in a positive way without becoming a completely different character, and I think that's the trouble a lot of shows like that have.
Yeah.
We also have Elizabeth Swann from Pirates of the Caribbean.
You haven't watched Heartstopper. This is a little spoiler alert, but when Nick is trying to figure out his sexuality, he's watching Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's watching first like Will and then Elizabeth, and then he like clicks it that he's bi. Same. I have nothing else to add to that. Yeah.
I loved that Elizabeth was often the strongest one of the two.
Yes.
In that sense.
And
I always remember that scene where she couldn't breathe because of the corset.
I was
And the older I get, the more powerful that feels.
She just used her femininity and who they put the role that men chose for her as a way to manipulate them, and I respect her for it.
And what could be better than female pirates?
She became a fucking king. I mean, what else is there to say? She had a sword and all.
I must admit, I was always kind of shipping her and Jack Sparrow, which is terrible of me. I know that like most people are big on Will and Elizabeth, but I had a thing, and I was so disappointed when she betrayed him in the third film. I was like, no, my ship will never sail. But even now, that film stayed with me. Like, I'm obsessed at the minute with Assassin's Creed, the Red Rogue and Black Flag games, because I just love being a pirate. And every time someone shoots at my ship, I have to use the quote, "Stop blowing holes in my ship."
I love it. I love it.
I just love it. I love pirates.
Have you seen the fifth one?
No, I've only watched the first 4.
Okay, then
I always doze off. They're so long. They're really funny at the beginning, and then they teeter off a bit when the action starts, and I always doze off, and I can't control it. Something comes over me.
I understand. However, again, like a little spoiler alert. In the third movie, Elizabeth ended as the Pirate King, was it? And in the fifth one, when she and Will met after another decade on the land, she was in all her dress and the wig, so she apparently became some sort of a duchess or something. And it makes me so sad, because first of all, she was a pirate king. Why would you put her back into a dress where she obviously wasn't happy? And the first 3, like basically what happened to her in the first 3 movies, they just deleted with this one little scene where she didn't even talk.
Oh, that's really sad. I'm so sorry, Elizabeth Swan. You deserve that.
And also something that I never understood is, why did she have to stay on the land? Why didn't she just stay with him and his crew?
She could have had her own ship.
Yep. She was already a pirate
to do anything.
That's a no. I will never understand that.
No, that makes me sad.
I know, and I miss.
We also have from Ivka Violet Crawley from Downton Abbey. I've not watched Downton Abbey yet.
Me neither.
I do know a snoring pigeon is in that.
Oh my god.
So we call Matthew Good of films like Leap Year and shows like what's it called? A Discovery of the Witches. Snoring pigeon, because when he growls as a menacing vampire in Discovery of Witches, he sounds more like a snoring pigeon. Bless his heart. And I do believe he is in Downton Abbey. Yeah.
I know, what's his name? He played Legion and the Beast and the Beauty and the Beast.
Who? He played who?
The Beast in The Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, Luke.
And he played the Beast.
Oh.
And he played Legion. Hold up, with Aubrey Plaza and Aubrey Plaza. Ben Stevens.
Oh yes.
I know he played there, but I think he's gonna die, so I'm not sure if I want to invest myself into that.
Oh no. Yeah, there's a lot of seasons, and now there's films coming out, and I'm not big on historical. I love like Pride and Prejudice, and I love Bridgerton for the more modern takes on it. But it has to have something. I don't know what, but it has to have something to make me want to watch it, and I'm not there yet with Downton. But I have heard it is very like binge worthy.
Yeah.
And then we have Lexa from The 100. I started watching The 100.
To say about her.
Yeah, please do. I started watching it not that long ago, and I've only just met Lexa, but I do know there's an instant spark between Clark and Lexa, which is very good. I do like that, but I also know how it ends.
I feel like when she died, that was it for me with the show. I just lost all the interest.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was this great commander who was just very badass and strong, and she just got shot in the middle of her room for no reason whatsoever.
What season was this?
I don't know. I think third, because I feel like every show goes bad after third season. I don't remember. Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. But I am a big fan of Bellamy. I know that's very controversial as a sapphic lover and just a sapphic in general, but Bellamy's had my heart since the first day. And I love him very much.
I was Olivia. Was her name Olivia?
Octavia.
Yeah,
Octavia.
I was her. Yeah. Her and
Bellamy's
Lincoln
sister.
could adopt me and I would be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Or if
Octavia
they would be like the couple across the bar staring at me all night, I'll be up for that. Is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I love her very much. Yeah, it's hard to choose between Bellamy and Octavia. Which Blake do I fancy? It usually depends on my mood, but I love them both. I love them both so much, and I think that's why I've kept on with it. So,
they did get married in real life, Eliza and
I know,
and it was just out of nowhere. Bob. It was out of nowhere. They didn't even like say that they were in a relationship, and they just posted wedding photos. And I respect them for it. It was beautiful.
They're so cute. The things they post on Instagram. They do make me very happy, I must say.
Yes.
And then finally, we have Dana Scully from the X-Files. Gillian Anderson deserves everything good in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She came to my attention in Sex Education. And I knew I was getting old because of all the cast. I've picked Gillian Anderson to fixate on, and she is so wonderful. So I was like, right, I need to watch the X-Files. So I'm at the end of season 2 at the minute. She's been pregnant for a lot of the season in real life. So she's often the damsel in distress, or they're doing some way to hide her pregnant belly by inserting her with an alien or something. Probing her. She's abducted and probed and inserted with a child. But yeah. Mm-hmm. She's everything to me. Oh my god. It's funny because at the beginning she's kind of very much what purpose you would expect a woman to serve. Like, she's the rational against Mulder's irrational. I forgot his name. I'm so sorry. But like, as time goes on and they develop this trust and friendship, which is very beautiful, she kind of joins in with him. And she's also, and to be fair, as often as she's in trouble, he's in trouble, and she saves him a lot of the time as well, and that's pretty beautiful. It used to freak me out as a kid, but I'm okay now. I'm managing.
Yeah, I don't think I watched it. Maybe like a part of an episode here and there.
Yeah, I think you would be scared just because there are some spooky episodes, I must say. There are just a lot of people to love. How about more recent representation? Are there any women currently that you really love? Fictional. Of course, we know the answer.
Obvious one. My queen, my god, my religion, Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah, of course.
We'll have an episode about Marvel women, where I'm gonna get very deeply into my explanation of all the reasons why I love her and why I will protect her until the day I die, and why I'm her trusted apologist. How to pronounce it? But yeah, she is it for me. She's such a complex character, and she's not a villain per se, but she has her issues that she has to work through without anyone else or any help, and she has this enormous power that everybody would use if they would have. And we have to watch Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness. Okay,
Not
let's
the biggest fan of Benedict's cucumber patch.
Cumberbatch. If you would call him as you always call him, everybody would get it.
Benzodiazepine cucumber patch. I'm not his biggest fan. I don't know what it is about him, but I'm just not a big fan of Ben. I can't say his real name. I can't say it anymore.
I know
I
this.
never call him that. So it's, but also the problem is that is it Far From Home or No Way Home?
No Way Home is the newest one, yeah.
That's not on Disney Plus yet, and Ivy is big on Order, so we haven't caught up yet. The last Marvel thing I watched was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I'm having a hard time moving on because Loki is next, and I'm not a big fan of Tom Hiddleston either. When a lot of people really love Marvel for these men, I just wish there were more lips involved. None of them have lips, and that upsets me.
I remember seeing the picture from, it was Infinity War, I think, press tour, and it was Tom Holland, Tom Hiddleston, and Benedict Cumberbatch, all with the same expression. And I remember the comment, "This is the most British picture ever. Also, there is not one lip in sight."
There are none.
Yeah.
They just, like, what most people really love about them, I just find really average. And I don't know if that's just because I love Tom Holland. I do enjoy a bit of Tom Holland, but the other two,
I think with
much.
Tom and Benedict, it's about their charisma, and they're very supportive of women. And again, the bar is so incredibly low, but they're both very open about their support. And I feel like Benedict has even like LGBTQ tote bag or a bag that he was seen leaving with, and it's just it's all about that. Yeah.
I just prefer the older generation, I suppose. I don't think that's what they are, but I was a big fan of Iron Man, and of course Bucky Barnes is my favorite man in the world.
Yeah.
And Black Widow. I loved Mark Ruffalo before they made the Hulk a permanent thing, and now I just wish I could wash my eyes out with soap. But I'm very ready for Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk.
They already changed her CGI a little bit, so I do hope she's gonna get more buffed.
Yeah, my issue with that was that she still had a very narrow waist. She had curves in all the right places. Mark Ruffalo is just a force of big green, a big heap of green muscle. But Tatiana was big on the boobs and the ass, and
she just got bigger in her size, but not in like the physical sense of muscles and etc.
Yeah, and they wanted to keep her attractive.
Yeah,
despite they should have looked to Shrek and Fiona for influence on that, because they never did that with Fiona. She was an ogre like Shrek was, and that was it, and that was beautiful. Women don't have to be pretty, especially not when they are green.
I agree. That is a beautiful sentiment, and I have to agree. Yes, I feel like they wanted to make her very hot after Zoe Saldana has also a green character.
Yeah,
and she's also still very feminine.
All green characters must
have to be hot. Yes, precisely.
Oh my god, that's all I want. How much do you want a fat woman in the MCU? Or not even fat, just not like extremely sexualized and muscular and curvy in all the right places. I just want a normal woman.
I have to talk about Brie Larson here a little bit, because did you see her abs?
I saw them. I think they're hard to miss.
Did you see like the back muscles she has? My god. And it's also the first character that you get instantly that isn't sexualized. And I wonder, why is that? What was the first movie she was in? Well, who was it directed by? But naturally everybody hates her for that. Although
I don't know what she did.
The reason why everybody hates Brie Larson, from what I understand, first of all, she's a woman.
Of course.
Second, I keep getting she's doesn't have charisma. She's just all like there's something off about her, etc., etc. Then there is she's a bad actress, and it all I feel started when she accepted some award, and during her speech she explained she talked about critics, and that most of the critics, like around 70% or so, I don't remember the exact numbers, are white men. So when you make I think her example was if you make a movie for Black women, naturally it will have a different score than it would if there would be more Black women as critics. Because people who the movie isn't for are the one who are giving it the rating. Which is a very fair point. Of course, she got a lot of hate, and when Tom Holland said the same thing, everybody was, yes, sir, you're right.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. There's a lot of criticism about the movie and her character because she's too arrogant. She has no other emotions. Basically, she's Tony Stark 2.0.
Well, this is actually what I wanted to talk about as well, because characteristics that women have, like more negative type characteristics, so the like assertive and the dominant, the moody, they are anti-heroes in a sense, like the more difficult, and usually coping from some sort of trauma as a result. They're like criticized, but when those things are seen on a man, and we see it time and time again because everyone loves a bad boy, they're praised and they're attractive traits. And I'm so tired of that as a writer, because I want to make mean women. I want to write the name women.
Just say the name.
Nesta Acheron.
Yeah.
Nesta Acheron is the love of my life. She's from A Court of Thorn and Roses, and she recently got her own book. And she's very hostile, but there's also reasons behind that people choose to ignore. And you just know that if she was that way as a man, which Rhysand is not, and Tamlin and those characters, they're not exactly the most welcoming. Asriel even is very quiet and very like standoffish. They're all praised for that, but Nesta Acheron can be a bit of a bitch, and she's criticized for it despite all this trauma that's built up over time, because she's the oldest sister and she holds a lot of resentment for having to do things that her father wouldn't or couldn't, and her mother wasn't there for. And of course that resentment builds up. It seems like with women, people don't want real characters. They don't want negative attributes that have come from trauma or whatever. They just want women to be perfect little angels, very good people.
And also, from what I noticed for the past few years, mostly from like, sadly to say, from women, when you have this character who just wants to have that stereotypical family type of relationship. She wants to be stay-at-home mom, she wants to have kids, she just wants to be very stereotypical, like mother, wife.
Yeah.
It's also taken very badly in the sense, oh, you're not doing enough for feminism. And I've noticed that in the past few years. Yeah. It's just because she doesn't want to have a career, she's suddenly not the good feminist. It's just like the trend of perfect woman is changing every year, and every year it's something different, from the characteristics to the way they look. And yeah, you can never win.
They just want us in a box where we're not too loud, too mean, too brash, but also we're not too submissive, too docile, too womanly.
Yep.
And that is very internalized as women. A lot of women are guilty of that. Because it's so ingrained in us, judging women for anything that they do. And it always has been. And that's not left yet. I find that with a lot of my characters that I write, they're criticized for certain things. And I'm like, but that's just what real people are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fit into a box, and sometimes they contradict like themselves, and yeah, it's interesting.
And it also a little baffles me that people would enjoy this reading about the same character over and over and over again.
Yeah,
That's why I love so very much flawed characters, because I just in media, with media in general, I love when the storyline and the characters are very complex and thought through, and that a story is layered so you can analyze it, and after you finish watching it and you rewatch it or read it, you see, oh, that's why they did that. We don't know it yet, but now I know because I read it again.
Yeah.
And I don't think creators now put that much of a work in it. And because not everybody because people are not pushing for it.
No, we talk a lot about Much Ado About You by Samantha Young.
Yes.
It's about this American woman who goes to the town, she falls in love, but there's also a lot of white savior complex in there. Like, she fixes a lot of different relationships, like she helps people, and she doesn't actually do much. She's not active in that. She just walks around and that's it, and she's praised for that. And that's really the characters we don't like, that are just seen as heroic just because they are a white woman. I'd so much rather have a complex villain than a very simple hero.
Yeah.
In that sense. Let us know what you want to hear about next. We don't have anything planned for the next episode yet. But we love talking about this.
Yeah, we'll
we
probably
have so
go back
much.
Also for Killing Eve. And then we
yeah.
have...
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do have a lot of things to say.
We do.
And
I didn't think this is...
Yesterday when we were preparing the episode, we realized we have like 3 other themes of an episode to create.
Yeah, we have a lot. So let us know what you want to hear about. We just like to talk about things. But thank you for listening. Let us know, if you haven't yet, let us know who influenced you growing up and who your favorite female characters are now, or queer characters. We'd love to know. And until next time,
see you later, alligator.
In a while, crocodile.